Hey everyone, I am Ryan Hooks from Press Pass LA. We're here to talk about The Brave, the brand new NBC show, taking a look at America's undercover heroes. So tell me about the creation of the show and how the idea came to fruition.
I've always been fascinated by resiliency. I think it's an underrated human quality. And when I looked around, I thought there was no better place to explore that than in special forces, and in particular in covert special forces. It's not a unit we've seen done before. And then it really just became about what is it that makes them special. And what I found out is what makes them special is their mindset. And what I found out is what makes their missions, what allows them to be successful on missions is how they handle the curveballs that come up. And I just immediately, I started thinking, well, that's classic great drama. Like you don't need big twists, you just need little Murphy's Law moments. Mikal has a saying that they have that no plan survives first contact. And that's sort of the backbone of the Brave. I also think it's the backbone of life, frankly.
Plan B, plan C, plan D, and plan E, and
exactly.
then basketball.
Exactly.
And then you shoot somebody, like that's, right? Like,
Yeah, it can wind up being that. The idea, though, with these men and women is to not shoot somebody. To not be in a situation to where you have to even draw a weapon a lot of times. It does happen, but that's not the focus of what we have here. And I think that sets us apart from any other thing that may be out there.
There's going to be a unique twist, if you will, that you're not going to be shooting and blowing up and just going for the fabulous explosion stuff. You're going to actually go for the undercover, the covert, the getting in and out without being seen and talking about the storyline and all that.
Yeah.
So how did this transition then from an idea to reality into a show that you filmed the entire season?
You mean the actual process?
Yeah,
Sure. So I sort of had the idea that I wanted to do, and it was a kind of show I hadn't seen on network TV recently. And it was a kind of show that I loved growing up. It was an immersive workplace drama. It just happened to be the workplace was missions around the world. And I went to NBC and basically said, look, I think there's an incredible drama to be found in a version that's real, in a version that doesn't have big dramatic twists, doesn't sort of try to fool the audience. Let's bring the audience along. And NBC, to their credit, said, go for it, which was really, it's a creative risk to do that when no one else is doing it. And then they empowered us to go to Morocco to film the pilot, which almost never happens. They empowered us to hire Mikal as a technical advisor, build the team. We've been very, very lucky to have the support of all of our partners, and I think we're all aware of that. And so it keeps us working hard and it keeps us humble.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing NBC allowed us to do that you typically don't see in television is they allowed us to conduct live fire weapons training with the cast.
They have to learn. Right?
They have to learn, but they let us do it all the way. So they're shooting and moving, and you'll see some behind the scenes stuff floating out there when it's released of their training. But to their testament, some of them never even held a weapon before they started their training. And we took them all the way up to a believable level of proficiency that really translates to the screen. A lot of people may not even know that they're watching something tactically accurate or not, but they can feel it when it is.
A lot of people will as well. Because a lot of times you see shows and you're like, why is she holding her arm like
Yeah.
why is she holding her gun like that?
Right.
People who have fire guns and who have military experience, who understand what is happening and not happening, will appreciate that element more than you realize, I think.
And that's one of the things NBC and the creators allowed me to do is and we were literally just talking about this, is they allowed me to take that ball and run with it. And they empowered me in every aspect of the way, creatively and setting up the training areas and really putting the cast through some intense training so that they do on the day in front of the camera, when they do that little move with the weapon, that very small little nuanced thing that really broadcasts an avalanche of technical accuracy.
How did you get involved with the show?
It's interesting. I have experience. I was in the military for 22 years, and I got out and I got into film and television as an actor, and then through that I was asked, hey, do you want to do the tech advising gig on this show? And at first I was like, well, what is it? And when they started coming from the spirit of serving, and they really wanted somebody that was going to dedicate themselves to making sure this is accurate, to true to life as much as it can be for the men and women who serve, to honor them. And when I saw it firsthand, it made it real easy to go, yes, I want to do that. And then as I was going through that process, they started, everything I already talked about, they started feeding that in, and it's really been a dream come true for me.
That sounds excellent. You can catch The Brave coming out September 25th.
Right after The Voice.
Right after The Voice. NBC, guys, I'm Ryan Hooks for Press Pass LA.